we need to respect the people.
Yeah,
Thank you,
absolutely.
Tom. Okay, well, I will start the PowerPoint here in a second, but I just kind of first of all want to welcome you all. I realize this is Christmas time, and hindsight's great and wonderful. And Gil and I actually had that conversation yesterday, saying maybe December's probably not a good time to do that. So we'll probably take a look at next year. So again, hindsight's great and wonderful. But having said all that, I do very much appreciate you guys taking your time. We do have a couple of people on here that are going to be coming in and out, and they are your presenters because, again, we are Rotarians and we do service. And so they're doing a lot of service projects and things of that nature. So, what I think I will do is I'm going to go ahead and get started with the PowerPoint. And just so you all know, because this question always comes out saying, well, can I get a copy of the PowerPoint? The PowerPoint's already on the website. You simply go to the foundation, and right there you'll see the Rotary Essentials Foundation PowerPoint. So you can see that I purposely designed this PowerPoint to have hopefully a lot of your questions answered in one slide. Now, I'm not going to read them all, and the other people are not going to do, but at least you'll have an idea of what's going on, and you can always refer back to it. So, having said that, let's go ahead and get this sucker going. Um, Let me see. Where am I here? Let's go to share. I have sound on. We're good there. And now what I'm going to do is I need to, whoops, to the wrong one, but that's okay. Oh, you got to be kidding me. My apologies. You think I do this like all the time, and I unfortunately grabbed the wrong bloody thing here.
Was a Rotary Foundation
Okay,
deck
so
there.
well, I need to go to my, and I've already actually started it. So let's kind of go back here. Escape. I was testing it earlier today, so I'm going to go back to the very beginning, and I'm going to do presentation, and I'm going to present, and so hopefully everybody can see it.
Yes.
And we are moving on our merry way. So obviously, the Rotary Foundation is really one of the building blocks of who we are. I always like to talk when I was on the PI committee for the zone. We had a donut, and the donut basically said that you had your member is important. The public image is also very important, but as important as all the other two are is the foundation. And so I will be your foundation chair for the next 3 years. It is a 3-year commitment. I think we're all very familiar with this statement of who we are as Rotarians. It's together we see a world of people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe and in our communities and ourselves. And this is how we kind of this is how we do what we do, is by taking that particular moniker and saying, this is who we are. These are the things that we're going to be talking about. I'm going to show you who our presenters are today. Why do we have a foundation? Why does it matter? Rotary Global's fight to end polio, which for a lot of you who don't know me or do know me, is my wife is a polio survivor. So it is very important. That's one of the major reasons why I'm a Rotarian. Annual fund share, major donors. I know a lot of this is kind of Greek to many of you out there, but these are all the different programs that we have, that really promote Rotary as well as the foundation. And here's a lot of our presenters that we're going to be having today. Across the board, I think you can kind of read on your own. You don't need me to have to read it. And so I'm going to run this little video, and I found it and I really like it a lot. It was just by accident, and I happen to know the person that created it. Evan Burrell actually is not who created it. It was out of North Carolina, but I'm going to go ahead and run it and kind of get us going here.
I've
brother's a lawyer, shy guy in Chi-Town, no high clout. Start a club with 4 guys, no cash, just hide out. By trust and friendship, fellowship and truth, turn a local lunch into a force for the good. The name's Rotary, just a seed with a mission. 1905, growing faster than tradition. 4-way test, yeah, we aim with precision. From room 711 to a world-changing vision. Without a script, without a plan, they met and shook each other's hands. Let's serve above ourselves, they said, now see the banner that they spread. There's a million strong who heed the call, fighting polio. We stand tall, from Wales and Ghana to peace in Nepal. Rotary's revolution has touched us all. Change makers, peacemakers, globetrotters, clean water bringers, child health supporters. We mentor the youth, build bridges, not borders, scholarship givers and frontline reporters. Eradicating polio, we take the shot. Partner with Gates, yeah, we give it all we got. In war zones, flood zones, drought and despair, Rotarians show up because we care.
We lift up girls, bring literacy to the streets, empower every voice where oppression repeats. Diversity, equity, inclusion, we own it. We're changing the world, don't need to postpone it. From Rotary Youth Exchange to the Peace Fellows, our vision rings out like a string of Botellos. Not just meetings and meals, we bring solutions. This isn't a club, it's a quiet revolution.
Yo, we built it from local to global scale with a wheel that turns and never fails. Districts rise, zones unite, we shine the light in darkest night. Service projects, grants and rise, changing lives before your eyes. And when the storm of need begins, you'll find repairing rolling in.
You'll know the name, Rotary.
They'll feel the flame,
Rotary.
We fight disease,
Rotary.
we plant the seeds,
Rotary. We are the ones who won't just wait for fate. We rise with hope, we educate, we don't throw away our shot to lead. We serve, we give, we plant the seed.
Just you wait, we elevate. Changing lives in every land. Revolution led by serving
So hopefully that woke you all up and get us going, depending on how loud your volume is. And I saw that probably 3 or 4 months ago, and it's probably one of the best videos I've ever seen on Rotary. So having said that, let's kind of move along here. So again, why does Rotary matter? And I think that opening video really kind of says it all. Is that if you remember years ago, some 120 plus years ago, when Rotary started, there were 4 guys that literally rotated. When they were having their meeting on a weekly basis, and that's how we kind of got called to become Rotary. But the foundation didn't really start till about 10 years later. And if you think about it, this foundation now is rated 4 stars for the last 15 years when it comes to how important the work we do and the money that you're giving. And I think that's so important when you look at all of these other places you could give money to and all that. I want everybody to feel that when they give money to Rotary, they know it's going to be doing good in the world, and that it's going to be going to the projects that we want them to go to. And that's part of what we're going to be talking about today, is all the different opportunities you have, first of all, to be able to donate your money, but also how do we spend this money. And I'd love to tell you that I can do this on my own, but I can't. So here's a list of all the people that we have that are part of that, kind of fall underneath me. That's why you see all the subcommittees. And we've got a few of our people here today, such as Josh and John and Shab and other Bill Payne. I'm not sure he's on yet, but they're going to be talking about their particular areas to kind of give you a better idea of what we do, and hopefully incentivize you to sit there and say, hey, this is something we really should be getting involved in. So as I've already shared with you, the major reason. One second. The major reason I joined Rotary was because of polio. And, some 35 plus years ago, we were doing 370,000 cases per day, per month. Look at where we are today. As of last Thursday, we are sitting at 39. We literally are in two countries. If we accomplish our goal, and as you can see over on to the left, we've spent $2.9 billion in immunizing over 3 billion children. We reduce polio cases. We're literally, we keep saying we're this close, but we are literally this close, and we're down to two countries, Afghanistan and Pakistan. And what I find interesting when I look at the numbers, you would think that Afghanistan would have the higher rate, but no, it really is Pakistan. So when you look at that number 39, I want to say it's somewhere around 10 is Afghanistan, and the rest are all in Pakistan. So we are definitely getting to that point of saying, and we'll be the first, honestly, major organization in humankind to actually eradicate a major disease. Now, why do we continue to do this? You have vaccination outreach since 1985. Paralysis of prevention. An estimated 19 to 20 million people are walking around healthy because of what we've done, and the World Health Organization and some other ones. The pluses for the vaccinations. Probably some of you don't remember or even know that, when we went through the COVID thing, they used our network to be able to vaccinate using the COVID vaccinations. So we have done more than just doing what we're doing for polio. And obviously the infrastructure of eradication, I hope at some time, that we will be able to say we're done. And everybody keeps saying, well, what's next for after we get done with polio? Rotary doesn't even want to talk about it. They want to get this done now, and they want to get it done. And so one of the things I did when I was governor a few years ago was I started this society called the Polio Plus Society. RI has now sanctioned it, and so if you go onto our website and you go to the Polio Plus area, you can join the Polio Plus Society. And we ask you to donate $100 for the next 3 years. And of course, that's something that will help eventually get rid of this major disease. So that's why I kind of put this up here. So hopefully, we are close in what we're doing. So also having said all that, we're going to also raise money for polio. So what I'd like to do is I want to turn this over to our governor, who will be talking about our first Polio Plus fundraiser that will be in Southern California. So Gilda, take it away.
Thank you, Mike. I will say with the polio, when I was president in 2016-17, those of you who are presidents on the call, you've gone to President-elect training. Now it's called President-elect Learning Seminar for the incoming presidents. I know we have a few incoming presidents on the call. Yay for you guys being on the call this morning. When I was at my seminar back in 2016, the keynote speaker was Ramesh Ferris, who is a polio survivor. And, a lot of times the polio survivors, they're in your clubs, but they don't identify themselves. They don't tell you. They may take you out for a coffee and they might tell you, individually, privately. But this gentleman, Ramesh, he's actually a governor in the Yukon and now this year. And when he came on stage, when I was going to be president, he didn't walk on stage. He crawled to get on stage. If maybe some of you have heard his story. If you have, put your hand up. You probably know who I'm talking about. I know Shav and Mike have, maybe some others here on the call. But he left an impact on me. This disease, it can cause paralysis, right? And he was fortunate enough to get many surgeries, and he has the crutches now and walks with the crutches, but he is a spokesperson for polio and eradicating it. So anyway, made a huge impact on me. It's still etched in my memory, the way he came on stage and shared his story. And thank you, Christine. Yeah, he was a keynote speaker at John Chase's foundation dinner. Incredible speaker. He was also at our conference last year, Mike Driege's conference last year. So polio is near and dear to many of us. And so this year we decided to do two polio fundraisers. So the first one will be on January 25th. Hopefully you've all seen this flyer. Yes, no, show of hands. Okay, a few. All right, all right, all right. So the flyer to the left basically tells you the day, Sunday, January 25th at 11. It's in at the Santa Anita track. Um, Folks who are excited about coming to see horse races, this is the show for you. Um, we are collaborating with District 5280. 5280 is Los Angeles and the basin. So it is a joint event with them. And our goal is to raise $100,000. So we want 50,000 for us, 50,000 for them. And to achieve that, there's obviously you being there. There's going to be opportunity drawings. There's going to be silent auction, not a huge silent auction. It'll be like 10 items. And then you see the middle flyer. I'm sorry, it's small. You can enlarge it on your end. Those just went out this week. So there are levels that you can sponsor, and much of the money for the sponsorship will go to the polio effort. And then there'll be a program. Multiple ways that you can sponsor, uh, either being in the program or being a dessert sponsor or bar sponsor or whatever. So multiple opportunities, a chance for fellowship. Um, the aspect of us working with another district, I really wanted for all of you to get that exposure working with another district. We learn so much when we go outside of our district. We learn a lot when we go outside of our clubs, right? How are other clubs doing their fundraisers? How are other clubs, how do they decide what service project they're going to do? Maybe we collaborate, right? So we're going to do a lot of joint efforts this year. So this one, is a joint effort with 5280. And then I know Janice is going to talk about the next polio event, so I won't talk about that here. And you guys have hopefully heard about the multi-district conference that will be with 4 districts in April, but more on that at a different time. So any questions that you have, please reach out to myself. Actually, the chair of this event is Dean Billman. He wasn't able to join us here today, but he's been the Polio Plus chair in our district for what, 4 or 5 years. So he's your direct contact. If you can't get a hold of him, come through me. Thank you, Mike, for the time.
Thank you, Gilda. And she made a very good point, which I forgot to announce in the beginning, is that I'd love to tell you I can read all of your chats, but I can't. But we've assigned Gilda, our infamous governor, to handle that. And so if there are questions that she'll say, hey, Mike, can we talk about this or whatever? So feel free to put in your questions, and Gilda will take care of that. So having said that, let's kind of move on to now the Vegas area. And I want to introduce our Las Vegas president, Janice Lemke, who is going to be the chair or kind of a co-chair with myself to do the Southern Nevada. So Janice, take it away.
You're muted.
I'm gonna get shirts that say 5 years later, I'm still on mute. So Mike, do you mind sharing do you have the document that I emailed, sorry, this morning that you can share? Or I can share my screen.
Yeah, give me 1 second here. Let me stop. Let me stop sharing, and then
Okay.
I will allow you to share.
Sure.
Wait a second here. In fact, you actually should have
Yep,
had the
I do.
ability to share.
Okay. Here we go. Sorry, so this is just a really quick rough outline. It's not final. But we are pickleball play and polio. And our event is Saturday, February 7th at Chicken and Pickle in Henderson from 1 to 4. So we're promoting this, of course, as our first annual End Polio Now fundraising social. I will change the wording here. It's an afternoon of fellowship, purpose, and impact as we work together to end polio. Ticket price is the same at $100. We're not doing an early bird. It's all about focusing on the cause. We'll include lunch. I have someone coming in doing commemorative photo printouts. The price includes not only lunch, but also one drink, use of pickleball courts, a raffle ticket. We'll come up with some really cool raffle items. We've got ample parking. We're going to have End Polio Now merch along with some of the Rotary, shirts and hats. Obviously, we need to fill in the QR code, and we'll put for questions, contact, myself and whoever else Gilda wants on there, Gino probably. And then we're developing sponsorship packages. And for sponsorship, if you've never been to Chicken and Pickle, there's multiple monitors. We're in a really great, fun room. We're going to have sponsorship packages that you can purchase a floor cling. You can have a cling on the pickleball courts. So a really great, fun environment. And we'll have people there teaching pickleball for those who don't know how to do it or have never tried, like myself. So that's kind of an overview. Any questions on Southern Nevada?
Yeah, Janice, Eddie from
Hey,
question.
I know you.
Yeah, you do. Uh, have you put this up on .db yet on the calendar?
Michael?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is up there, and you can register today.
Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't have because we're still working this all out. We don't have the sponsorships ready yet. In fact, that was the first time I'd seen those sponsorships, to be honest. But which is fine. So we'll get all that together here in the next week. With the next
Yeah.
2-3 days. So don't
You
worry.
only mention them. You haven't seen them. I'm gonna develop them this weekend. I just got some photos from Chicken and Pickle. Heaven forbid they've been busy with holiday parties, so we'll lay those out so those sponsorships can start getting promoted. So it's gonna be a lot of fun, a really fun social environment.
Let me just say this. So the reason we're doing two events as you all know, we're in two states, and we have heard many of you say, "Oh my gosh, I have to trek to California. Oh my gosh, I have to trek to Nevada." Right? So we decided to do two events, one in California, one in Nevada, and obviously you can go to both events. We'd love for you to come to both events, but not expected. So it's really up to you and your schedule. And if you're a race enthusiast, come down. If you love pickleball or if you want to learn about pickleball and just be with fun Vegas people, come on up, right? I will be at both events. And I know some Vegas people have already signed up to come down to the racetrack. So really, we leave that up to you. The other thing I want to let you know, the day before January 25th is our 36th annual Peace Conference. So if you are here for the Peace Conference, a lot of Nevadans do come down for the Peace Conference the day before, and John Tulak is on that committee. He's in charge of the program, actually. He has a fabulous program planned for the Peace Conference. It's at the Richard Nixon Library on Saturday, the 24th. If you're already here for Saturday, stay overnight. We've talked to the embassy suites right next to the track. They're giving us a good rate at the hotel. Stay overnight and come to the Sunday event with us. And if you're not, it's okay. If you're in Nevada and you want to stick to pickleball, stick to pickleball. Really, you have options, and both are events to raise money for polio. So we appreciate your support either way.
Great. Thank you. Okay, I will go back to start sharing my screen again. And yes, we have the sound turned on, so we're good there. And now I'm going to again present. Okay, everybody can see the screen, I assume?
Yeah.
Very good. Hey, so far so good. Going to move on to the next one. Okay, so there's a lot of different, and this is where Rotary gets really confusing, is you got all these different buckets of where they put the money. So when you give $100, it can go in multiple different places. So in this case, we'd like you to use the annual share fund because that's where we get our money back. So as an example, and I'm sure many of you have heard about E-Ray, which is every Rotarian every year. My club was very big into it for many years. We wanted to make sure that we always qualified for that. And RI sends a banner to the club when they qualify every year. But to give you an idea, when you have 100% of a distribution, 5% of it covers operating costs. And I don't know many other, foundations that can claim they only, of the money that you give, that only 5% of it actually goes to operating costs. But having said that, what happens then is they then split it. And it used to be 50-50, but now basically what you're getting is you're getting a 47.5% designated breakout. And then you also have 47.5 to the World Fund. And you're going to say, well, what is the World Fund? Well, basically, the World Fund is kind of like the playground for the directors for Rotary International, and they can make decisions on where that money goes. And we're going to get into global grants very shortly, but with the global grant system is that we're going to donate a certain amount of money, and you get all this money. Well, we can also take some of that World Fund, and we get a percentage of that also to add on to that global grant that we're asking for. But many of you, I'm sure, are very familiar with the DDF, or what we call the district funds that we just finished out. And we have Christine on here, and I'm probably going to ask her to speak in a couple of seconds here. We've already had that conversation, but she always keeps me in line about what we're supposed to do and not do when it comes to global grants. And again, where we get our money is it's based upon a cycle, and that cycle is based upon the last 3 years. So every year, every governor gets a percent. In this case, this year, because unfortunately Gilda got caught in that whole, COVID thing, our donations were down, and where typically we might have $80,000 to spend and give out to the clubs, we only had about 70,000, a little less than 70,000, might even be a little less than that. So that's where our money comes from. And again, if you look to the right side, this is, we've already talked about this, humanitarian projects, scholarship trainings, all of this. So you can always feel very comfortable that when you're giving money to the foundation, that it's going somewhere. Here's another program. It's called Major Donor Endowments. And I'm not going to take away from, Josh's deal, because he's going to talk a little bit about, the Paul Harris Fellowship Program. But, they do honor the people who give money, such as I happen to be a major donor. But there's also programs, lower than that to get into it. And I can remember when I first gave my first $1,000 to the foundation, I said, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to do more than that. Well, 20 years later, I'm now a major donor. And I'm going to get into how I did that very shortly. So this gives you an idea. So here's another program. The endowments. Basically, what an endowment is that you're going to say, when upon your passing, that you're going to donate $10 million to the foundation. So you have many ways of giving, even after your time with Rotary and your life is done, to give to the foundation to keep what we're doing today going. Okay. And I believe, Josh, you are still on the call. I'm going to turn this over to Josh. This is Josh's area, and he's going to talk a bit about the Paul Harris Fellow Program.
Thank you, Mike. Good morning, everybody. My name is Joshua Conrad, for those of you who have not had the pleasure of meeting yet. A vision without resources is a mirage. And for Rotarians to do what we do, we need resources and the money to actualize the visions that we have created for ourselves. Rotary is our organization. It's not anybody else's. And so it's our responsibility as Rotarians to help finance the projects that we have set up for ourselves to accomplish. And there's multiple ways for us to achieve that goal, to raise those funds. And Rotary has done something very smart, which is to create this initiative of recognizing, of the ability to recognize one another with the funds that we've donated. And the Paul Harris Fellowship Society is something a little bit separate, but the fellowship itself is really about us promising ourselves and the foundation that we're going to give $1,000 a year. And what Mike has really challenged us to do as a district of 5,300 to become a Paul Harris Fellow district, which means that every single member that we have donates $1,000 in order to achieve that designation. And it seems like a lot of money at first, but it's really kind of the same idea of if you walk into a room and you ask $1 to 100 people, and you walk out with $100. It's the same idea where we can either donate $3 a day or a little less, cup of coffee a day. And that way we can reach that goal. We can either divide it up quarterly, $250, or just write a $1,000 check or donate $1,000 at the end of the year or at the beginning of the year. What they've also done, what Rotary's also done, is created a point system. So every dollar you give, you earn a point. And with those points, you can actually donate to individual members. We can do it as individuals, and clubs can do that as well. So what happens is, if, let's say, for example, I'm a brand new member, I'm just starting out my career, I'm 35, 45, and the finances, the money is not really flowing in right now because I just started that business, but yet I still want to contribute. Write a $500 check, and either another member can match that 500 or the club can match that 500. And all of a sudden, that new member is a Paul Harris Fellow. It's not about the pins, it's not about the points, but what we have realized is that once a person becomes a Paul Harris Fellow once, they like it and they want to continue giving, because not only do they see the money that they've put in go to work, actually, because they can join various projects both within their club but also around the world. But they see how easy it is. You can just sign up, have your credit card charged $85 a month, and forget about it, and just attach it to your personal budget. And then all of a sudden, at the end of the year, you're a Paul Harris Fellow. And it's a really nice way to give, to not really think about it giving, and at the end of the day, be recognized for your generosity. Because again, this is our club, and the money that we put into our club allows us to do the projects that we want to do. So it's not a matter of just giving it out and sending it out to the universe and having it sucked into some black hole. This is our money. This is our project. These are our visions. And now we need to fund our visions for the future. And that's, did I miss anything, Mike?
No, I think you did. I'd like to add a little bit on about the 100% Paul Harris and the points, and you touched really well on that. I mean, to give you guys an idea, when I was president, my foundation chair came to me and said, I want to become 100% Paul Harris Club. And I kind of looked at him and said, really? And at the time we had maybe, 35, 40 members. And believe it or not, by March, we were 100% Paul Harris Club. And we accomplished that in a couple ways. We used the point structure to where we actually went to some members that had either not given, or they had been giving. And we said, fine, if you'll give us $500, we will match it with 500 points. And now all of a sudden you're 100% Paul Harris Club. And so part of my goal here is over the next 3 years, I'd love to see, as Josh has already said, I would love to see our district become 100% Paul Harris district. And that, and it's a phenomenal goal to get to. There are not many in the world, even 100% Paul Harris clubs. I think the time we became it, which was, probably 10 years ago, there were maybe 2,500 clubs out of 37,000 clubs that were actually Paul Harris. So this is a really good way to incentivize the members, and not make them feel like they've got to do, they got to do $1,000 and things of that nature. So we'll go back a little bit to Paul Harris in a minute. So the next one I want to talk about is vocational training. And basically, the vocational training is actually not funded by our DDF money. It's actually funded by endowments. And so we have an endowment. So the last couple of years, we have been able to create what they call a VTT team. Some of you may remember it as what was known as Group Study Exchange, which is a GSC team. And so during Mike's year as governor, he sent a team down to to Australia. And Gilda, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they are now coming back here for us for this year, correct?
They're working on something.
Okay, I knew that was my last bit. So we're trying to do like an exchange back and forth. So, this is a great program. Again, it's based upon we're taking our tech, our knowledge down to another country. We share and then it comes back on our side. And I believe it was human trafficking, if I'm not mistaken, for last year is what Mike had for his. And so Gilda kind of wanted to carry that on to bring it in here for us to do that. So that's another program that, when you give your money, I don't know, is Bill here yet? Okay.
He is here.
Very good, because I know he told me to hold off until he got done. I think he had a tennis match this morning or whatever he was doing. So I'd like to introduce now Bill Payne, who has been our scholarship chair for a number of years, and I'll let him kind of talk about. I've got three, Bill. So I've got three screens for you. So that's how it kind of worked out. So why don't you go ahead and take it away?
You know what? He was here. I don't see him now. Oh, there he is. Okay, he stepped away from his screen.
Okay, so well, good timing. What can I say? Unfortunately, I can only see about 5 people at the moment, so I don't know who's here and who's not.
Oh, there he is. He is. He's coming. He's coming.
Okay.
Bill, can you hear us? There we go.
Hi.
Mike just introduced you.
I just introduced you, Bill. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to.
Okay.
So I've got a couple slides. I put some of the stuff I couldn't get everything on there, but I put a couple slides on here to kind of give you some opportunity to talk about some things.
Okay. Can you put up introduction as the first slide?
I honestly thought I had it. I may have screwed up. And let me see here. Wow.
I sent you 5.
Yeah, you did. If you need it, I can stop sharing and bring it up.
Okay. Well, so I'll start without that slide.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Okay. So how many people do we have at this Zoom call?
Gilda can tell you that.
17.
And how many clubs are represented?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
I can't see everybody, but I'm curious as to how many in attendance know what global scholarships are, number one, and number two, if your club ever participated in the Global Grant or Ambassador Scholarship Program. I can't see a show of hands. But my conclusion is probably not many, and certainly not all. So I've kind of felt that this is a best kept secret in at least our district, 5,300. In the years that we've had the Global Grant Scholarship, there have been only 18 scholars selected. And the San Marino Club has had 10 of those. So our club has been very involved, and we are not trying to keep this exclusive to the 8 clubs that do submit members, but to open this up to everybody because it's a $31,000 scholarship funded by the district and by Rotary International. It allows the recipient to go to the foreign university of its choice, and the only hook to the deal is that a scholar must prove through coursework and extracurricular activities in undergraduate school and as far back as high school, an alignment with one of Rotary's 7 areas of focus. And so the clubs of Altadena, Arcadia, Las Vegas, Pasadena, Palmdale Sunrise, San Marino, Sierra Madre, and Victorville are the only clubs that participate in this. And again, this is not trying to hide this project, but to open it up to everybody to encourage more participation. The slide that shows now shows kind of a summary of the process. And this is on the District 5300 website, and it's also on San Marino's club website. And my hope is that it's also on the Altadena, Arcadia, Las Vegas, Pasadena, etc. Website, because they know how to do it. And this does encourage interest when people, seniors in college, are looking for scholarship money. This page will show up and we'll get inquiry not only from our own district, which is what we're hoping to find, but inquiry from all over the world. We've gotten inquiry from clubs or districts in Africa, and a restriction is that a recipient either has gone to college in our district or has been raised in our district. The reason for that is that this is our money, so we want it to go to our kids. That's obvious. But kind of a refinement at the end of this process is a debrief. When the college student has finished and gotten its master's or doctorate from Oxford, Cambridge, Adelaide, South Africa, wherever, they're encouraged to come back to their host club and give a debrief. And whether that's at a club meeting or at a backyard party or at a formal luncheon at a place like the Huntington Art Gallery, this can be a very a good way to get out to our wider community the good that we do. So more information is on our website. I'm available certainly to answer questions, as is the committee, which is maybe the last slide.
And Bill, I elected not to take them up there for privacy reasons because this is going on a public website. So if they need to know who's on the committee, they can go into DACDB to find it.
Okay. So how do we recruit potential global grant scholarships persons? Obviously, this is who do you know? Who are the kids at your church or your neighbors, your Boy Scout troop, et cetera, et cetera? We post an article in our local newspaper. We're a small town. We have a weekly, and we get essentially an article advertising this opportunity. We are very active in RILA, TLC, the four-way speech contest, et cetera, and we remind those participants that this scholarship exists. Now, these may be seniors or juniors in high school, and that's a seed that may not germinate, but I think we all feel that these kids who do so well need to be told that this scholarship exists over and over and over again. Can't tell them too many times. We actually participate with our own high school. We have only one, and we work through the registrar's office. They supply us with 30 to 35 names qualified, starting with GPA 4.6, 4.59, that kind of thing. Also, kids that they remember from high school who were either in debate or speech or the school dramas. Why these kids? Because these are the A personalities. These are the kids that stand up straight, that look you in the eye, and when they're interviewed, they don't flesh. Uh, that's not to say we're not interested in any and everybody, but we find in an interview process that these particular kids have developed the skills that move them forward in an interview process. There are two interviews, one on a club level and one on a district level. Uh, we asked each of our scholar recipients to post the fact that they received the scholarship on their own social media pages. And when we do select a global grant scholar, we have another article in our local newspaper. So interest comes from different sources. And this is how we have found it to be successful. So, lastly,
can I ask a question? I'm Jeff Cox from Red Rock.
Yeah, please.
So this is for like a high school senior who wants to study, let's say in London. And so I study in London. I apply. How much? What?
This is a postgraduate. So this is a kid who has graduated from UNLV.
Yeah.
Who wants to go to Cambridge.
Okay. And you go to Cambridge. Okay. Yeah. So this is a postgraduate program. How much is the scholarship worth?
A minimum of $30,000. We encourage each club, such as yours and such as mine, to contribute an additional $1,000. In other words, to have some skin in the game. And Karen Wisenhunt is very, very, very good at knowing how this process works, and she's been very successful in providing us with qualified scholar candidates.
So what I'm hearing is the youth needs to be be residing somewhere in the district, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and so they need to be in school in the district. They graduate from college or doing a post year at some university in some program, and
either
then
master's or doctorate, right?
Master's of doctorate overseas, and then this is can they apply for this more than once, or is it just a
one-time deal?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So the last slide on the right is the results of our program last year. So we identified 3 scholar recipients, Victorville, Pasadena Rotary. There are actually 2 pockets of funding. One is the district, as I mentioned, in combination with Rotary International. A second pocket has been a former district governor from Altadena. His name is Joe McMullen. If you're an old timer, you may remember that name. When he died, he put in $150,000 into a global grant scholar program, and the district has identified 6 scholars that have been the recipient of his funding. And the Pasadena club, Fred Findley, each year talks to Claremont colleges, because one of the stipulations of the McMullen Scholarship are that the recipient must be a graduate either from the Claremont McKenna or from the U.S. Military Academy. The reason being that's where his kids went. And so we have had uh, six identified over the years from Claremont McKenna. Why the Pasadena Club has that relationship and not the Claremont or Rancho Cucamonga are beyond me, but it is what it is. And these are the pretty faces of the three that are enjoying our scholarship process as we speak.
Thank you, Bill. I don't mean to cut you off, but we started a little bit late and we got to move on. And as everybody knows, you've got Bill's information. It's on this first slide, the first one, the back one, so you can get a hold of him. He's done a phenomenal job over the last several years. And so if you've got some kids that need to have some additional money to help get their master's or their doctorate, we've got the money available again through the foundation. So again, Bill, thank you very much. I'm going to move on to International Service Committee, and in this one, I'm going to turn this over to John, and he's going to talk about his program. I'd love to be able to tell you all about it, but he's kind of a side person. They're really not part of the foundation, but they help us decide where the money goes in the world. So, John, I'm going to turn this over to you.
Thank you, Mike. So it's my privilege to be the new chair of the International Services Committee. We call it DISC for District International Service Committee. I am foundation chair for the Rotary Club of Claremont, and I've been in that role for quite a few years now. I do have a co-chair this year in Lisa Hahn, which is very helpful because our club is very, very busy in both our community activities and in international projects. This year already, we have committed and funded three projects, and we're going to lead a fourth larger project. We also do a fourth project every year that every single club, large or small, can do. And that is we clean out the clutter with spring cleaning. We ask our members to gather their good pens and pencils that are in working condition. And we have places around the world that we can donate those because kids need pens and pencils and they can't get them or they can't afford them in some places. Our district grant this year was international in nature because we used our district grant money to fund a project in South Africa in the poorest township in Cape Town, and a need for pens and pencils and school supplies. And every kid in this school, courtesy of this district grant, has been given school supplies. We did this in conjunction with a club in South Africa, and we have partnered with them in the past. We've also funded $25,000 for a school in Tanzania for water-related projects. We've been doing something there almost every year, starting with drilling wells several years ago. Then we did irrigation. Then we brought the fresh water from where the pumps were to the school. This year, we're doing water management in terms of paving and water catchment to prevent flooding and mud and so on right around the school. That's a long-standing commitment because we know the school well, we have good eyes and ears on the ground, and everything works really well. We provided $15,000 of that. The other $10,000 came from one of our members, which is really a nice way of doing things. If we can attract outside folks to do that like SHAB does with global grants, that's a really workable thing. We also provided $4,000 to a school in India that we've been supporting for many years. That's a school for the deaf girls. And that's near and dear to our heart's project as well. So we've been very actively involved in international projects, and I'm passionate about it because I'm an international business attorney. I have done projects large and small all over the world. My goal in becoming the new District International Services Chair is to make sure that every club has the opportunity to participate in an international project. The tie with foundation is obvious. It isn't just all about the money. It's about giving also of your time and talent to make an international project work. but these things go hand in hand with everything that the foundation does. And I'm very grateful to Mike Soden for taking on the role of foundation chair and doing some things that are needful to help it be a better experience for all of us and all of the clubs to be able to know and understand processes, to clear out some clutter that's built up over the years so that we can make the messaging to you a lot easier. One of the things that has been my job is essentially to be a cheerleader for doing an international project. Here's the problem. That's a marketing message if you get right down to it. We want every club to do an international project. I can tell you that, and I've been doing that at district assembly now twice and a district conference once, and been speaking to several clubs. And I can tell you, I can give you inspirational messages, and I can show you great projects, and you can all come away feeling warm and fuzzy about this and all inspired to do your own international project. But it passes because it's a marketing message. This is what I've concluded. And according to one of my experts in marketing, it takes 21 times before a marketing message gets through. And you're not going to listen to me 21 times. As much as I might like you to do that, you're not going to do that. So we have to change how we approach this so that the message gets out in a way that is more effective. And that's what I've been working on in the last few months. So one of the things I concluded is that I can't train you in 15 minutes. And neither can Shab with global grants. And I can't really get the full scope of how good this resource is that's at your disposal at the district level, because that's what we are. The services committee, all of them are a resource to you and what you want to do in the club. But it's up to the club to commit and want to do it. And we're here to support you. And that's the key message, is that it's not easy to do an international project if you've never done one before or you haven't done one in a lot of years. And you may think, I don't have a lot of money available in the club, and don't we need a lot of money? And the answer is no. You can collect pens and pencils, for example, and not spend any money. To say we're a resource sounds passive. And what we want to do is improve the lines of communication so that it's easy for you to reach us. So I'm putting my contact information in the chat so that you can do that. And you can reach out to me anytime by email or call me. I have a terrific committee. We have good people, many with substantial prior international experience. We have Shab's going to talk to you in a little bit, who is an expert on global grants and really good at putting resources together. We want you to know that you don't have to do this alone. And I'm going to put my lawyer hat on. Maybe you listen to the lawyer, right? And say, look, there's a right way. There's actually several right ways of doing this and a whole lot of wrong ways. My ideal referral as a lawyer is someone who wants to do it right from the very get-go, and I'm working with that client at the very beginning for the planning, the preparation, the negotiation, the documentation, and the execution. My typical referral is someone who tried to do it on their own and screwed it up and now needs help getting out of trouble. And now we start over again. Now let's do it right from here on forward. So my message to you with the lawyer hat on is, let's do it right from the very beginning. And good intentions, hell's pay good intentions. You can go to our Rotary International website and you can do the training. And you will come away thinking that you can do it and you can't. Because those trainings are developed by RI and they are delivered by mostly young people who have no international experience. And it's like going to trade.gov. Terrific videos, well put together, and you will then try to put your export plan together. And they even have a nice guide for doing that. And I can tell you exactly where you will get stuck. And then you give up. There's a better way. And that's what our committee is for. And that's what Shab's Global Grant Committee is for, is we will get you through the process. Never feel like you have to do it alone. And whatever your area of interest is, there's an international connection that will be something that your club will embrace and support. That's the message for today. I approve of it.
Thank you, John. So obviously these are just some reminders of what John's committee does. Um, as we move on here, John focuses on basically 7 areas of focus. And for the first time, thanks to Shab and John, we now actually have committee chairs for every one of these areas of focus. And it allows us to decide when we're doing a global grant, what are we covering? So again, I'm not going to read this stuff to you because we started a little bit late. I want to get through to make sure Shab gets his time, because God forbid he doesn't get it. We make sure he'll get it. So we're just kind of move on, and this is an explanation. Why do we have areas of focus? And that sort of thing. And so now we get to the point of we've talked about a lot of really good things. Well, how can we easily get you guys or to help you donate to the system? And so there's a lot of different ways. And so again, I'm not going to read all of them for you, but a couple of areas I want to touch on. I made a comment to you, in the very beginning that, yes, I'm a major donor. When I gave my first $100, it's like, my first $1,000, it's like, I don't know, there's no way I could ever become a major donor, but man, I managed to do it. Well, how did I do it? I used what's called the Rotary Direct. And so every month, like clockwork, they take my donation out of, and I don't even think about it most of the time. In fact, I forget about it sometimes, because the time I remember it is when I get my, the fact that I had donated that money. So that's one area, that's pretty easy to do. Obviously, you can go online and donate there. We've touched on some of these already, like planned giving, endowment, that sort of stuff. But I really do want to touch very quickly on this program called DAF, and this is called the Donor Advised Fund. So I'm sure many of you are aware of the fact that our district has our own district foundation. And to give you an idea, we, because of the fires, we managed to take in over $500,000. Well, what do we do with that money? Do we, reinvest it, while we're waiting to have projects? Well, what we've done here, and we've now, as of today, we have about $1.7 million that we have now given to the Donor Advised Fund. And what's nice about the Donor Advised Fund is they only charge us 70 basis points for managing the money. We do have to give 1% of, I think it's on a quarterly basis, of the value of whatever we've given. So it'd be 1% of $1.7 million. What's neat about it is 50% of that comes back to us in DDF money. So really, you're giving 50% away to the RI Foundation, but you know where that's going. You know that's going to go out and do good in the world. That goes to the World Fund. So at some point, that may come back to you as well. So, take a look about, coming up with a program that suits, that will make you feel good about, being a Rotarian and giving money to the foundation, and knowing that that's going to be used in many, many ways to help many, many people. So the other way you could also do it, and we have this program called Ignite. And within Ignite, you simply log into Ignite. If you haven't downloaded, you simply go to your favorite app store and download it. And once you get on, you're simply going to click on Foundation. When you come over here, you're going to have the opportunity to see where you're at. In my case, I'll be honest, I'm a major 1 donor level. And then if I happen to be a Paul Harris 3 and I might be $500 away, it's going to tell you that. And all you're simply going to do is say donate to TRF. You hit on it, you go ahead and you donate. We talked about, Josh talked about points. We can now transfer points in the system. So it's pretty simple for you guys to be able to do what you need to do as far as donating to the foundation, passing on points to somebody else that you'd like to have them get you another level in the Paul Harris program, whatever. And then the third piece of this is what's called recognition. And in this case, these are things I'm recognized in for some odd reason. I know that I'm a Paul Harris Society, but for whatever reason, it doesn't show it, but I'll have to figure that one out. So anyway, this is another way you can also donate. And our last two pieces of what we're trying to do here is when we get this money back, and I've already shared with you, we get 47.5% back that goes directly to the district. And ultimately, the district governor has say over where this money goes. We have had a really good group of governors who believe that we want to give back to the clubs. So that's why we go through this whole grant process every year. For some, it's more arduous than others, but for the most part, we give out on a good year 70 different grants that are going to different areas within our district. That might be Riley, that might be TLC, it might be Santa Claus, it might be backpacks, it could be, who knows, a multiple of different things. And so the person that leads that is Christine Smith, and she has been doing it for now going on 5 years. And she does a phenomenal job in doing it. I'm not going to, if she's got anything she'd like to add to this particular area, again, I'm trying to make sure we get Shab in here. But Christine, if you've got anything you would like to add, you're more than welcome to speak now. You are muted, Christine.
Sorry about that. I'm open for questions about district grants. I know we're short on time. What I would like to say on behalf of our committee, I have a co-chair, Mike Soden, Isaac Kung, San Marino, Fred Soul, San Marino, Dick Bates. Where's Dick? Laverne?
Laverne, yeah.
Yeah. Laverne, Jordana Lane with Las Vegas Southwest, and Russell Hollenhurst, Monrovia. They have been a great help over the years. Mike co-chairs with me this year, and we have usually every year 2 rounds of grants. And I encourage you to apply. It's not a difficult process. It requires an application and a final report with all of your documentation. Everything's done in DACTB. So reach out if you have any questions. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Christine. So now, certainly not least, but unfortunately last, I'm going to turn it over to Shab Elawar. And Shab, I did get in what you sent to me on your stuff. So let me know when you want to go to the next page. But Shab is our Global Grants Chair. And we inherited him from 5330. And we were doing literally nothing in global grants, to be quite honest. And my hope is between what Gilda's doing and what John's doing and Shab is doing and I'm doing, that we're really going to have a bigger focus on the grants. And Shab is one of the big key pushers of that. So Shab, I'm going to turn that over to you.
Well, Michael, thank you very much. Gilda, I am honored to be serving under your leadership, both of you. And most important, I am honored and privileged to be serving all our Rotarians in our district, because once we say that and use our expertise, we can probably connect more of you worldwide to do global grant. A lot of you, you think that a global grant is a big bear in the room. Well, I'm going to tell you what, we can show you that it's not a big bear. It's a little poodle in the room, and everybody can play with that. By doing that, what we have done is we put a lot of resources for you. So you don't have to look for resources. Okay, everyone has a phone. What I would like you to do is just take a picture, a snapshot of the page, but also you can open that QR, because that QR is going to take you into a page where you're going to find all kind of stuff. John talks about District Resource Network. Well, what we've done, We took every web page in Rotary International. We put it in a link for you to go in and find things by subject. You are not going to see it anywhere else in any other district or in RI. So please use that. You can find also the second one, how to find partners and funds. And you click on that one. Also, will take you to our webpage, which is matchinggrants.org. On matchinggrants.org, you can go into the search box on top and put District 5300. And I can tell you right now, as we speak right now, you're going to see 54 global grants posted in the name of our district. Why? Because I am very involved on a monthly basis with a group that we've been involved for over 10 years right now. And we have finished over 800 global grants. So you can see it is easy in a way. And do not be afraid to make a mistake. I mean, John is a lawyer probably, and he likes to, to get things right. But you know what? Unless you make mistakes and then you come to us and say, I made a mistake or I need help, then I would love to take everyone by the hand, like I'm doing that with Karen, with Ed, with Betty, with Pierre. So every single one of them, I talk to them personally, one-on-one. And also, on these resources, you'll see a disaster application. You'll see a group that you can join on WhatsApp. So if you have a question or you're looking for a partner, you can find it over there. Now, also, you will see a link where you can raise funds by Rotary International. I bet you 90% of you will not know, but there is a link over there that you can use, and so you can raise the fund. And once you raise the fund, you can ask Rotary International. Once the funds is raised, could you please send it to this global grant? So we want to make it as easy as possible for you. You will find my information over there, and also you will find information for a meeting on a monthly basis with the link and the password that you can join and see internationally what is being done. You see, a lot of you don't even know what goes on beyond your club, and we're talking about that to be taught at RLI. What's beyond your club? What's beyond your club is, ICC, intercountry committees, action groups around the world, fellowship. You can even start your own fellowship of whatever your passion is in Rotary. So I hope you've taken a picture of that, right? Take a snapshot with your camera, whatever, and you can open it later on, but also give it to your team, give it to your club, if you are an AG, give it to your presidents, and any of you that will take this information. I can tell you that right now. You are not going to find this information accumulated in one little page, because we also used AI to find out which district in the world has funds right now, DDF fund. And also we use AI to write a global grant. And you're going to see all of that in these resources. So go ahead to the second slide, please. But also, you have to do things on your own too. So how do you do things on your own? You go to the conference. In the conference, you're going to find some presidents or some people that have traveled or went to the convention, or you're going to see a peace scholar. You're going to see a scholar. At the peace conference, we have a lot of people that come to the peace conference. You can connect with those people, and also this way you can find a project. Now, if you want a project, a global grant, like I said, my wife and I, we travel quite a bit. We just came from Egypt and Lebanon. We launched in Egypt alone 8 global grants. And if you want to look them up, you can go to matchinggrants.org and hit the district or look for District 5300 or 50, write 5300, and it will bring them all out to you. So you're going to see that our personally will put little money in it, like $100 in it. But that's only to bring that project and cause our name so we can follow up. So when people donate money, we can see it donated. And we use this website, it's separate than Rotary International website, but we use it to follow up on our partners, find partners, and if we have a meeting actually in the district for all our 7 areas of focus in order to create more people that passionate, because we have a lot of passionate people, but in Rotary about doing global grants, but it's scattered because people are afraid of if the other party or the other country did not report. Oh, our district is going to be dinged for that. I can assure you that has been changed. So do your best to find a partner and work with them and be proactive with your global grant. Be proactive, bring it to the club, because the more you bring to the club, the more the club going to see where their money is going. So once they see where their money is going, then they want to put money into the foundation, but also they want to be participating into these projects, or travel abroad, or invite someone to your club for like VTT team, whatever. But all of that, it's inside this committee. So if you see the basics for global grant, and I put them in a way that is so easy, you don't have to look for them. In Rotary, it has to be $30,000. You have to have a club or a Rotary club or a district in another country. You have, and I would like to see that our district will establish a global grant. I am open for any of you, and I will take you by the hand, and I'll sit personally with you and put a global grant. Our district governor goal is to have at least 30 clubs participate. It doesn't matter how much you want to participate with. Our district has money, and then we can match you. We can match you up to $15,000. So, but you need 15%. And believe me, I will bring the people from outside the country to give you 15% minimum or more, because we have our way of doing global grant. You have to have a assessment. You have to have, your project has to be sustainable. It has to be in one area of focus, and I would emphasize on it. Only use one area of focus. We would like to see our 35 Rotary actors that have their own training for global grants also, because we did have interaction with Colombia, and the Rotary Act established a global grant, and they're implementing it right now. So as we said, our district will match you up to $15,000. You have to have primaries and 3 secondaries. It used to be 2 secondaries, now it's 3 secondaries. And you have to have separate bank accounts for every global grant. And you have to have 2 people, to sign on that. But also you have to report on your global grant. And you know what? You don't have to worry about it if you are an international partner. The host partner will report on that. And if they don't report within 6 months, they have to get going with a progress report. And how can you find your global grant? Guess what? Go ahead and hit that QR. It will also not give you all my information and this little blurb over here. It will also give you the website matchinggrants.org, how you can go on and find a project. So with that, I would answer your question on a privately basis. Even if you call me at night, I would, because I know the excitement you will have. Because for me, it's like drugs. Because I'm so we partner with a lot of people around the world, and every day when I get a blurb from Rotary International, this global grants being approved, I just got high. I don't need no drugs. I got so high. I got so happy. My wife got so happy because we know that we're making a difference somewhere in the world. Yes, on a local level, you can go feed a family, you can give something, which is great. But when you do a global grant, you have doing an impactful type situation, and you're using all the money that's sitting at Rotary International. As Michael says, we've got 50% of that 50%, which is 25 or 23%, whatever it is, and in a global money. So if we do not use that for global grant, guess what? You have another 25% in Rotary International sitting. If you do not use that money to match it, then you're killing that money that's sitting in Rotary International. And God knows we don't need to kill any more money because Rotary International, on a yearly basis, we've been rolling over. Not in our district. Last year and the year before, I can tell you that right now, we are at zero for DDF. So, but Rotary International world, all the districts in the world, they're all over $40 million. So by saying that, do not worry how much you need to do your global grant because we still have money from 2 years ago. And if we don't use it, we will lose it in 5 years. So give me your global grant. Call me, say, I want the global grant. We will make it so easy for you. It will spin your head. And then also, if you need somebody to speak in your club, let us know. And then we have a good speech about peace and the challenges we have, the environmental challenges and other challenges that affect peace around the world. And our district is one of the few districts that have a peace conference every year. So we are so international, yet we want to convince our people to come in. You can also use your DDF from your district grant to also do a project, international project, without being a global grant. So with that, I'm going to just let it be, and then please call me. That's my phone number. That's my email. If you call me, is the best thing or text me. Emails, I get at least 80, 90 emails a day. Text me or call me, and then I will answer you. You guys are awesome, and I'm looking forward to work with every single one of you. And we do a lot of damage in the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're awesome.
Thank you, Shab. And part of to Shab's point is, and actually go back to Bill Payne, we have some very close secrets that we should be bragging about. And one of the areas that, for what Shab was saying, we have, 52 grants right now that could move forward, but they're looking for money. And so as a DISC committee, along with our Governor Gilda, we're looking at getting you that information so that you're going to be able to say, hey, we've got a couple $1,000s here. Let's give it to this project or that. Because right now you don't even know those projects exist. So we're going to make a major effort between the International Committee and the Foundation Committee to get that information out so you guys have that. So again, thank you to everybody. I do have a parting video I'd like to play, but before I play that video, Gilda, any closing comments?
And every third Monday of each month, our committee is meeting. We would love you to come in. You will be our guest, and you'll take a lot of information what we're doing. We want to create as many good hearts as possible in this district.
Thank you, Shab. Thank you, Mike. I was just looking to see if there was any questions. I think all the questions got addressed.
Very good.
I think Jeff or Red Rock has a connection with TV and radio. So
good.
They want to publicize the good work that we're doing with the global grants, with the scholarship program. So yes, I hope what you have taken away is all our secrets that they're available to you. Use them. Reach out to this committee, and I know you'll get, like Mike said, you'll get the slides. This session did get recorded. It is going to go on YouTube in about a week. So if you want your members to learn more about the foundation, have them watch this video, and they'll have questions, and they can reach out. I see a few people that are unmuting. Do you have questions, Bruce?
Yeah, just a quick question. Michael, you mentioned earlier this slide deck is going to be available. Can you remind us again where that'll be?
Yeah, it's actually already there. You simply go to district5300.org and you look at the menus. One will say Foundation, the drop down. About 3/4 of the way down, it will say Rotary Essentials Foundation. And that will be the PowerPoint. I'm probably going to make a couple minor adjustments as I went through this. I said, couple things I need to do to make a couple fixes, and we'll put up the correct flyer that Janice had for our Polio Plus for Southern Nevada. So yes, it is available today, but give me probably another 10, 15 minutes and I'll actually have the updated one up there for you guys to pull down.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Christine, did you have a question? You unmuted as well.
No, I just unmuted because I was going to say goodbye and happy holidays to everybody.
Okay, well, but before we do that, I have a video I'd like you guys to see. So, very short, 30
Wait,
seconds.
before you do that, can we get that video you showed at the beginning? That was really good.
Yeah, actually, it's on Facebook. Let me see what I can do to pull it out. I have the link, but I will. Yeah, it just was accident. I found it.
It's on YouTube also. It is on YouTube.
It is on YouTube? Okay.
It is on YouTube. It is not on our YouTube channel. I'll make sure that it gets on our YouTube channel as well.
Okay.
And while you're playing the video, I'll see if I can get it. I know.
Very good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Well, we finished not as late as I was afraid of, but we still got within our hour and a half. So I apologize for the delay, but let's go ahead and have a good holiday, everybody.
All right, thank you.
Great holiday.
I think we're a wrap. Thank you all very much.
I put that video in the chat that you just
good.
Tammy.
Oh, yes.
You guys
Thank
can
you.
also go to our Rotary District 5300, Rotary International District 5300 YouTube, and also our Facebook, and it is on there as well.
Great.
Great.
Well, Rebecca, I'll get back with you, and thank you for stepping out. I will be more than happy to help you with the global grant. You are awesome. I got your text and I answered you already. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you guys. Take care and have a great holiday.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you to all
everyone.
the foundation committee people. Thank you all of our visitors for being here. Middle of December. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.